I think that fundamentalism is problematic for the church here in the United States. It turns away potential Christians and causes many of our young folks to leave the church. Maybe you agree. So what can we do? Well, here are 10 ideas and actions that we should all get behind and endorse for the health of the body. You may even consider this a manifesto. Let me know which one you most agree or disagree with. Number 1, stop the war on science. It makes us look foolish and discredits our message. We should embrace science as a help in interpreting difficult passages of Scripture. For example, archaeological finds in the mid-1800s showed us that the genre of early Genesis is not historical narrative, but rather something akin to ancient mythology. So we shouldn't interpret early Genesis literally. And then work in geology and genetics and biology and many, many other sciences have shown us that the earth is old and that evolution happens. Let our study of God's creation inform us as we study His Word. Number 2, we need humility in our interpretation of Scripture. There is a reason why there are so many denominations. Scripture is difficult. One implication is we should have an open mind when listening to modern biblical scholars, even ones who are not evangelical. Yes, we should use caution as scholarship changes and advances, but we should be open-minded on all sorts of things, like the authorship and dating of the Pentateuch, and that the book of Jonah may be a parable, and so forth and so on. Number 3, when dealing with hot-button issues, yes, we need to have courage to hold and defend unpopular positions, but we also need to double-check our biblical interpretation, because if we are wrong on these issues, it would be harmful. Also, we need to first exhibit love and patience towards those who disagree with us, and not view them, first and foremost, as enemies in a culture war. They are made in God's image too. Number 4, we need to stop following and elevating charismatic men, but rather sit at the feet of humble men and women who love the Word, love Jesus, and love the brethren. All the scandals in the church are damaging and are symptoms of rot, and perhaps the megachurch model needs to be re-examined. Number 5, be more careful about integrating Christianity with politics. While it is good to vote based upon your Christian convictions, it is not healthy for Christianity to be seen as an adjunct to a political party. Our faith is not a cultural phenomenon and is way more important than our political ideology. Don't join them at the hip. Number 6, inerrancy, and here I'm especially talking about the stricter formulations of it, is a flawed concept. The Bible employs many different ancient genres, and some of them do not emphasize accuracy in a modern sense. Scripture also employs a heavy dose of symbolism in many locations. Also, while inspired, Scripture bears the hallmarks of the human authors. For example, Scripture employs ancient science, not correct science. And there were copyist errors, and there are at least some minor discrepancies in the Gospels, and so forth. Finally, and importantly, inerrancy and signing statements are now used as a way to squash dissent and avoid conversation on difficult topics. That is counterproductive. Number 7, admit we don't have surefire answers for everything. Questions like the reasons for evil and suffering are difficult. God has not explained everything to us. We have good ideas, but not firm answers. Number 8, related to number 7, allow questions. Encourage questions, actually. For so many who have left the faith, their journey to apostasy began with feeling they were not allowed to ask questions. Number 9, agree to disagree with other Christian faith traditions on non-essential matters. Saying things like all Catholics are going to hell is not true and is harmful to church unity. Rather, use doctrinal differences as entry points to engage and grow. And number 10, an inordinate focus on the end times is unproductive and takes energy away from growing in our walk with Christ. Being certain you are right about your interpretation of when the world will end may reveal overconfidence. And when you tell young folks not to go to college or get married because the world will end soon, that is irresponsible. Let's be ready in case Christ returns tomorrow, but recognize He may not return for a long, long time.